Hi everyone, it's Niamh here and welcome to my art journaling channel. Today I'm going to do a super quick flip through of the new Dina Wakley 6x6 media journal. So I got this on Tuesday and I've completed all of this in a week. It's really addictive. The pages are super thick to work on, and it makes it so much easier not only to use acrylics on this but also watercolor media, because it doesn't seep through the pages like it does in the other larger journal. So I started off, this one of the business cards I've made up, and on the inside I've stuck the other side of the business card, so it's double-sided. This page I just did with all my Dina Wakley and Diane Reevely washi tapes, and I absolutely adore it. It was just so simple. I had all my washi tapes sitting there and I just wanted something quick and easy to do. This journal in itself is going to be used as a sample for a shop, so a lot of the spreads you may have seen before on my channel are certainly similar techniques, but each of these pages, or most of the pages, sorry, not all of them, I've got a little video of how I've created them that I'll be going up my channel every Friday. But the longer, more in-depth versions will be up on my YouTube channel as is, or you may have already seen them. So this is a really quick layout using my two favourite colours of Dina Wakley paints, the fuchsia and the cheddar. I love how they work together, and just doing some ghosting in the background with the stencil and using the small Dina Wakley collage face papers with some scribble sticks over the top. So I tried hard to use some scribble sticks in this journal, and I actually found I really enjoyed using them in this journal because I could use extra water with it without worrying about my next page. So this is a page trying to, again, I'm trying with white space, with Tim Holtz collage paper in the background, just using, again, the Dina Wakley paints in turquoise, lime and ocean, with some of her stencils and some of her stamps over the top, and then using the new archival inks in the different colours, Tim Holtz archivals, to stamp on some white paper and stick it on the top. This is a page that's going to be going up in more depth on my regular channel, or my channel that you're watching this on, using the Colour Blast powders and modelling paste. Now this is the one I was really impressed with doing it, because this is really saturated with colour. You can see it sort of seep through on the edges here, and it did go through some of the binding, but it didn't go through onto the other page at all on either side. There was no leaking whatsoever, which I was really impressed about, because when I did this in the bigger journal, it just didn't quite work as well. Try and find the page. Here you go. So that was a sample in the bigger journal. Now in this journal, because the paper is so much thinner, I gessoed it, and you can see it didn't react very well, and you can see the gesso in the background. On this page I didn't have to gesso, and you get that beautiful true colour. So I love the paper in this journal. This is the page playing around with the new Distress Oxides, which again I really enjoyed doing. One of the tricks for this page was I did some stamping of same colours with, again, the archival inks in the background, which I really like, that sort of ghost shadowing that was happening. And I also went over the page with some microglaze. Tim Holtz has some, I've just got the old Judikins original version. The reason I did that was I knew I wanted collage on top of it, and I found it sealed the page really well, so I could collage on top of it and not move the Distress Oxide, Distress Spray. Because the spray itself is water activated, if I'd put something over the top it would have smeared it. So I found putting the microglaze over it was a really great solution to that problem. This is another page that has been up on my scrapbooking journal. I don't know what I'm talking about at this stage. My art journal channel. Recently it went up just after Valentine's Day, I think. And again, it was just playing around with the inks and so on, and seeing how they reacted in this journal. So I've got some modelling paste, some of the inks coming down. This is actually the Dilutions ink that I used in here. Again, because that seeps through on the other pages. I wanted to have a try in this journal to see what happened, and again I didn't have any seepage onto the other pages, which I was really impressed about. This page was playing around with the scribble sticks and looking at the black and whites and doing that reductive painting. It's based on something from Mixed Media Jen or Inky Fairy Designs, possibly. I will find out who this is based on. I have done a video on this in the past, so all credit goes to their original design. It has changed obviously from their design, but I just liked how they set the page up and using those windows with the stained glass effect in the background. This page was inspired by Scrappy Chick from YouTube, Instagram, who I follow and have sent some happy mail to, and she sent me this beautiful tag using these colours, which I wanted to replicate. Again, trying to use that white space. And this page was really simple. I did some stenciling in the back, stuck over that Tim Holtz collage paper, put a little bit of more colour on top, and then stuck on the 2 words. It took 10 minutes at most, I think, to do. I really like the scribbly border around the outside too. This page is sort of a tribute to Dina Wakley, using some of her products, and also playing around with the Amsterdam paints, which I was given to have a go and sample with. Now I'm obsessed with neon at the moment. These paints are beautiful. When you buy neon paints, by their nature they are translucent, so just be aware of that. So it is quite translucent, but the colours are just so bright, it just really stands out. And then just using some of the Dina Wakley sort of tricks and tips of, you know, doing the squiggly border and her running quote in the middle that's a little bit snarky. Light travels faster than sound, that's why people appear bright until they speak. And using the new large backjack stickers as well, which I really like. I fell in love with this page when I made it. I had a completely different plan for how it was going, but I just adore this page, and it's a technique that I've done lots before in the past, but I've never done it with the birds, and I've never done it with leaving the border at the top and bottom, which has just really appealed to me. So this is just a really simple sort of collage in the background, fill in any of the gaps with some paints, and in this page I used the Dina Wakley paints and the Dina Wakley paints, and then just did some stamping in the background, and I used the archival mini inks, again the Tim Holtz mini inks, which are oil based, and they did something really funny when I put the white paint over, but I actually really like it because it ties the foreground and the background together. Obviously it blanks it out a lot, but you just still get that sort of tie between the two. And then using the Dina Wakley scribbly birds, which I really love. I've also put some, when the gel medium was drying in the background, I just put some foil on top and just have little bits of foil coming through, which again I really love that little colour coming through. So this is something that I will be doing in some of my other journals. This is a page, again, one I did a long time ago, inspired by another Instagrammer called Diane Colours. I think she's got a YouTube channel as well, and if you go back into my archives of my videos, you'll see me doing this page in detail in a larger page, but I just like this horizontal spread. The other page I did was vertical. I love the colours. I love sunflowers. They really sort of brighten up my day, and this is a combination of using the paints and using some oil pastel over the top. Now the trick to stamping on top of it was actually heating up the oil pastel so it melts and you blend it in together, and then it's sort of melted into the page. It doesn't smudge onto the other page. It's sort of heat set, almost like doing an encaustic beeswax effect, and then you can stamp on top again. This page was me just again playing around with just doing my regular collage and slapping on some watercolour over the top and stamping and mark making and putting anything I could on the page just to see how it held up with putting lots and lots of stuff over the top, which I really loved doing. Also using a lot of Posca paint pens on this page, just again because I love that effect and the opacity that it gives to the page. These are some Tim Holtz chipboard pieces, and I've been finding, because I don't want this page to be too bulky, I've just been peeling them off the chipboard, and I'll use this for something else. But I love the size of the quotes in comparison to the little stickers, which I use a lot in my journals. I like that these are bigger and bolder, and the sayings are just as lovely. This page is kind of out of my comfort zone, but I really enjoyed doing it. Again, was trying really hard to channel Dina Wakley and her white space. So I started with this sort of slightly abstract background, just using some sky blue and turquoise, really watered down acrylic on a gessoed page. And then I stamped over the top. Now these flowers are really scribbly flowers anyway, and just sort of tried to fit them together so they went across the page. So it's not all, the stamps aren't all connected, I've sort of joined them in. Then I decided, because I don't use my scribble sticks enough, that I wanted to use those to colour them in, and I loved how they took to the page, and I had a lot of success with them, which I haven't always had in the past. When I'd finished colouring it in, the flowers themselves just need a little depth of shading to them, so I got a lapis scribble stick and just scribbled around the outside just to give it that little bit of depth. And when I'd finished that, it was looking too white. I can't handle white space, so I had to do some splatters of the lapis over the background, and I'm really glad I did because I think it ties it together. This page was leaked on by the looks of it. Oops. That's what happens when you use Stabilo All Pencil. It gets water activated when you're doing something else. Inspired by Inky Quill, and again I've done a page like this in the past. I was playing around with the new darkroom door stencils that I've got, and I just wanted to see what a larger face would look like in this journal. Now I much prefer the original version I did of this, but it gave me an opportunity to play and to try around and see what sort of proportions that this journal would take, remembering that it's a 6x6 journal. But it still worked, and again, this is another one of those chipboard pieces that I peeled off and stuck on. I also wanted to do some paper cutting in here. For those people who follow my journal know that I love doing paper cutting and doing paper lacework cuts in my Dilutions journal. The paper in that is really, really fantastic for cutting. But this one, because it's much thicker and much sturdier, actually has held up really, really well. And just to give you an idea of how thick the paper is, I don't know if you can see this on camera, but it's quite thick. It takes a bit to bend it and shape it. So I kept all the pieces because they are quite strong. You could do some modelling with them, or stick them on the front, or actually make some sort of 3D images with them. They hold their shape when they're bent. So again, I'm just in love with this paper. So I just did one of my sort of random collage backgrounds. I was going to write some quotes in the flower, but I actually just quite like it the way it is, how it frames it in different ways. And again, you could do whatever you wanted in here. You could cut words out, cut a quote out, so it sat on your pages. This page was looking at layering colours with the acrylic paints and doing the ghosting technique, which I sort of built up, and again playing with the proportions of the page using one of the Dina Wakley larger faces. So she's got the small one here and then the large A4 version here, just to see which one I liked. So by collaging this over the top, you can kind of still see the background and the colours in the background, but I boosted those a little bit by putting some more colour over the top, and again using the Posca paint pens in the eyes just to make them look more realistic. And using that sort of not Dina Wakley, Dilutions type quote in the background. So she could not keep her colour in the lines, so she drew new lines. It made her happy to stand out from the rest of the crowd. I like that because it works with the quote. And the final page, again, this one was super, super simple, but I had a ball doing it. It took me about 10 minutes to do. It was really mindless work, but lots of fun. I just went to a Marie Claire and cut out a figure that had lots of background in it, and stuck it into my page, and then just with my Posca paint pens went round and just drew lines around my figure in a rainbow of colours. And then, because I wasn't satisfied with that, I went in to the actual figure itself and just doctored it up slightly, outlined her dress, changed her hair colour, gave her crazy makeup, and added one of those chipboard pages again. So that's my super simple journal. I would highly recommend, if you're starting art journaling, or even if you've been journaling for ages and want a really quick, easy, fun journal to work in, this one's been fantastic. I honestly thought that I would be stifled a bit by the size, but because you've got 6 by 12 when it's opened, it's not that much. It is, but it isn't. It's not that much smaller than your usual journal if you're used to working on single layouts. So yeah, this is my journal flip through. I hope you enjoy it. Please go back through my channel and check out some of these videos, and videos of me doing this journal will be coming up hopefully every Friday starting from this week, which I think will be the 17th-ish, around St. Patrick's Day. So, you know, good Irish girl starting on St. Patrick's Day. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I will see you later. Bye.